Know Your Candidate. Presented by Portland is Possible, broadcasted by XRAY FM. In this segment, we offer a brief background on the visionary candidates that are proudly standing and running for the acclaimed Portland Area City Council. For now, we have a candidate of District 3 that incorporates Montevilla, Belmont, and Hawthorne neighborhoods.
Hello, my name is Rex Burkholder. I'm running and very excited about running for City Council District 3.
What hazards do you foresee in the city's future that we can start planning for now?
Well, I think there's the obvious ones of thinking about climate change and the implications that has in terms of a couple things. One is wildfire risk in our city. The other one is heat and how that affects our population. And the third is the possibility of having a lot of people wanting to move here because we're one of the best areas in the world, actually, in terms of climate change impacts. So there's that there, and then there's the possibility of a major earthquake we have to keep preparing for. But then there's the social changes. One's the migration issues, but also we could see a drop in our population because people are having less kids. How do we deal with that? And then finally, the preparation for the next pandemic. Do we have healthcare systems? Do we have support systems in place to deal with these kinds of challenges? And I think those are things I'd look forward to the city preparing for and providing leadership in that area.
What is most essential for the arts and creative community to thrive in Portland?
Well, I think the big thing is we need to keep introducing our children to arts and culture and using the arts tax to make sure that kids get exposure to the plays, to the music in our community. There's some great groups. I've been a subscriber to Milagro Theater for many years, for example, and they do great multilingual programming. But can people actually see that? So we should be using and democratizing our funds. The Regional Arts and Culture Council, it needs to be democratized and expanded so that it actually supports small arts organizations. And the other one is we should be looking at our Performing Arts Center. How do we run those in a way that, yes, they pay for themselves and take care of themselves, but aren't a barrier to the arts organizations that we have, like the symphony and the theaters and the opera. We need to be looking at our local assets to make sure that they actually support the arts and aren't barriers to their success.
Which industries should we focus on growing here?
So what are the criteria of industries that we'd like to have here, right? We want them to be clean, to continue our long history of trying to support industries that are about sustainability, about environmental protection, about good health for our workers. We should also be looking for industries that we're providing any kind of support that actually will hire and train local people. We import a lot of talent from other places. We've been one of the top destinations for college-educated young people, but we're not educating our young people as much. And so industries provide internships, training. Those would be great industries to have. And then we should be thinking about industries that actually build wealth and that stays here. The flash in the pan tech company that comes and goes, and if 5 people get super rich and they're gone, is that who we should be supporting? No. But they come here, let them come here. But our public support should go to those clean, sustainable, and ones that grow our local wealth and our local talent.
The Central City is a large area of land connected by a river that includes communities, businesses, and transit needs. How should the City Council consider these diverse stakeholders in policymaking?
The world has changed. We see that the technological changes that have increased people's ability to work from home, they're here, they're not disappearing. The old model of a central city that's just business and employment zone is old. It's over, not just our city, every city. So we know that successful cities always have a mix of places where people live as well as to work. And we should really encourage that redevelopment of the downtown into a neighborhood. That's why I see the future. And how do we encourage that? How do we get more housing built downtown? There are a lot of empty parking lots. There's a lot of older buildings. We don't have to convert big fancy office buildings to housing, but we can take advantage of those empty spaces or underutilized spaces and have people live there. A great city always has humans there 24 hours a day. And that's what the future of the Central City should be.
What is your vision for how Portland transforms in the next 10 years?
Well, the central city, I think, will be a big part of that. We have 4 major areas where we could get lots of housing in very quickly, and that has interested property owners or property controllers. We have the OMSI area, which is both interesting institutions proposed, but also housing. We have the Lloyd Center, which we all love Lloyd Center. That's where Tanya Harding skated. But it has a huge amount of land right on great transit on the freeway that can be a whole new neighborhood, the old post office. And then PSU is being and I forgot, Albina Vision Trust down by the freeway, restoring the old African American community there, and then Portland State University. So great stuff. Bold vision, let's get the hell rid of I-5 on the East Bank and bury that and bury the railroad. We've done studies on that. I was part of a committee with Vera Katz when she was mayor. If we had tolling, we could afford to bury those, and you open up billions of dollars of value. And think of the waterfront property, what it could be if that was the second part of our downtown and a neighborhood full of people and businesses. That's the bold idea.
Lightning round. Should the President Teddy Roosevelt statue come down?
Well, if we're going to have statues, yes, it should come back. I think we need to have context, though. You need to talk about the good things he did and the bad things he did, and have it at the Historical Society be a great spot for something like that.
What's a single word you would want to use to describe Portland in 30 years?
Welcoming.
Whom from Portland's past or present should our leaders take notes from?
I loved Bud Clark. He was the mayor who came up and said, let's have optimism and hope, and not just complain about the problems. Let's change it, and we can do it ourselves. The other one is someone who's not as well known. His name is Richard Brown, African-American photographer who worked tirelessly for years as a volunteer, going to the police academy to help train police candidates about the African-American community and how to relate to them. He was rebuffed for years, but he kept it up. That's the kind of citizens and residents who have made Portland a great place. People who don't give up.
Where do you get your coffee?
Kawaba. It's strong and close by.
What restaurant or food cart is totally underrated?
Oh, I gotta go with the Low Tide Lounge. They have the best nachos in town.
So now you know your candidate, or a bit about them. We like to thank the visionary candidates, also like to especially thank all the volunteers and organizations that put this together. We couldn't do this without you. To look at each candidate, be a good Portland citizen, and to be a dashing and informed voter, listen to XRAY FM to learn about ballots and the new ranked choice voting system. And check out portlandpossible.org.